Hello, YouTube. This is the Galley La Podcast, and today we're going to be reviewing One Piece Chapter 1121, The Ebb and Flow of the Ages. So we will be spoiling you, so make sure you are caught up. I am Akainu Fanboy, the other guy's Geboss, and please like and subscribe if you have not. Leave your thoughts on this chapter below and thoughts on our review. We love hearing from you guys. So, we have Saturn's back. He wants to get away from his elves right here, and he's back in the game right here. But then he kind of takes an L a little bit later on, which was kind of crazy a little bit. I mean, the damage, but I guess like kind of before we hop in over there and everything like that. What were your general thoughts? I mean, it's kind of hard to like summarize this because the message is kind of spread out throughout this and everything like that. But it was cool. When it talks about this new technology, we see shots of Vivi, Shirahoshi, we see Skypiea again, and we get shots of Marco, we get shots of Pudding and King with like these various races, and it is always just kind of like this cool thing to see, like Oda not forgetting these very key variables that a lot of fans have made like huge theories around of, and obviously like Pudding became like a huge part of the story, and the same with King, so it is cool to see how Oda could balance all this.
Yeah, so I was gonna say that Skypiea really doesn't have anything to worry about with the world flooding and everything because they're up in their own clouds. But
and now stock's going up.
Yeah, but I will say that it's interesting. People have speculated because when Vegapunk's talking about the weapons, it specifically flashes to Shirahoshi and Vivi. I don't know what that means. If like, I wonder if the reason that the poneglyph that Robin read at the end of Alabasta was the one that pointed to Pluton being in Wano, right? So maybe, well, Pluton's a ship, we know that, but maybe it requires a Nefertari to pilot it.
That's a possibility. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way that I can think of, because I don't think that she's related to Uranus at all. But I thought it was interesting. But yeah, we see Marco and referencing King. Okay, I think this is a present day shot of King, so I don't think Ryokugyu killed him.
Yeah,
because that would be kind of a lame way for the last Lunarian to go out. But yeah, we see Pudding. But it made me think that potentially, like Lunarians, Buccaneers, the Three-Eyed tribe, all of them could be related to Joy Boy, and specifically with the Three-Eyed tribe, like they can read the poneglyphs, and Joy Boy was the one who made them. So there has to be some sort of connection there.
For sure.
But yeah,
Definitely.
I think it's just Oda planting those in our mind.
It is interesting that Sanji, he has a relationship with the Three-Eyed, tribesman, and then he might have DNA of a Lunarian.
Yeah.
I find that interesting. Just like how much highlighted he's getting, getting as a more of a narrative character. I'd say Zoro's like the strong wing, and then he's like kind of more the narrative-oriented wing in a way, So I thought that was kind of interesting. And we see all these kind of shots like leaving right before Saturn getting knocked away. We get some shots of Kuma's flashback. We see Kizaru. Again, I think this further solidifies is more emotional rather than physically hurt. He doesn't look that beat up, to be honest.
Yeah, he's just chilling right now.
He's just like, I'm done with life, in a way. Sentomara is still beat up. Do you get the vibe here that Saturn got KO'd here?
So it's hard to say. But I think this is the most damage that he's taken, because you see like all his limbs flying off and everything. This is more damage than we saw with when Kuma hit him. But he might be. I think he might be KO'd because he's like he has wide eyes and everything.
And you have the sad flashback and the compilation of everything right before, and that's usually like a good sign, like that someone's going to get KO'd when you have all those panels leading up right before.
Yeah, I think it's cathartic though, because Saturn was such a big part in Kuma and Bonnie's flashback. I mean,
it would be fitting if he went down this arc too. I mean, not that great. At least get KO'd. You know
yeah, I don't think he's going to be out of the story. Because we still have to learn more about him. But speaking of that, what do you think of Bonnie going back into her Nika form? Because, I mean, she's got better recovery than the actual Nika, if that's the case.
Yeah, there's a lot of shenanigans that could be here. I'm just gonna write it off to a narrative unique thing, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna get into the power level because I think it just kind of it cathartic the narrative thing, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, honestly, in terms of power level, I don't. Just how I read it, I don't think that Bonnie's punch did that much. I think it was all Luffy.
Yeah.
Just because you see like Luffy's Gatling thing go around her, and from what I see, like where he's injured, it's mostly where Luffy hit him.
Right. Yeah.
And I kind of appreciate the like the big brother vibes that Luffy's given with Bonnie.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, more more chemistry than with Yamato. But anyway, for a crewmate. But yeah, I thought it was cool to see Mads too. Like we see all the reactions of everyone.
Because they're still in the game.
That's true. Who knows what weapon they could come up with.
They just picked up Queen.
Was that in the cover story, or is that?
No, I'm just talking shit.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past them. We picked them up off screen.
Yeah. So. Okay, so maybe we can like just put a little feather in the sense of like Saturn's defeat potentially, where it's interesting when Vegapunk's talking about the rest of the stuff. He's just like, Roger, you know, was like so close. It wasn't a coincidence, or did he set this all in motion, right? But you see kind of Rayleigh sleeping through the whole thing, which is kind of funny. And I guess like what I kind of find interesting when they set up, so he's talking about the One Piece and everything like that. So they show the Fort Yonko. Yeah. And then they show Navy headquarters. Which I find, okay, and again, Akainu Fanboy, I get that. But it's interesting with this presentation. I know they show Emu later on, but when they talk about the context of the One Piece, they should just show the Yonko and the Navy, and that's it.
Well, I'm going more toward the end 2-page panel spread, as I think these are going to be our key players at the end.
Yeah, look, I agree. So I agree with that. I think there's like, but okay, so I guess there's distinct things. There's a battle for the world, and then there's catching the One Piece, right? So I don't think Dragon particularly cares about the One Piece that much, or Salvo, you know. Maybe even Kobe to an extent, you know, and Kuzan, right? So I think it's like interesting where he talks about Raptail, like in this section right here, and then it immediately cuts to the Fort Yonko and Navy headquarters, you know, and then we go to the fate of the world will be decided panel, right? And then that's when you start to get the following into like all those other people, you know.
Yeah, but it says like directly, like it all depends on who finds the One Piece. The fate of the world relies on that. So
No, yeah, I agree. I just like I just think more of a narrative portrayal. Like, I mean, I just think like more prominence was given to the four Yonko in the Navy, like in these panels right here. You know, like as like the kind of the main players, if you will. You know, and then you have all these other. But I think kind of like a more interesting point too. Emu's one among many. He's not the final guy, and how he's presented. You know.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to be one of many competitors for the end of the world, not like the final boss in a way.
Yeah,
because his panel is just as big as like Shanks, Dragon, Akainu, Kuzan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even Garland, right? So I think this goes more to, because I know people were saying Emu final boss, but this is more of a natural flow from Doflamingo's Throne War speech, you know, where he shows like the revolutionaries, the warlords, the Navy, you know, and the supernovas and the Yonko, basically, right? And I think this is kind of more reflective of that speech, rather than just like Emu's the big final bad and everybody's going to unite against Emu.
Yeah, I can see that, but I still think they all have significant importance rather than just the Marines, though.
Oh, I agree. No, I agree. Yeah. I just, I think kind of the main point I just kind of want to say is like Emu's not the final.
Yeah.
I think how this portrays Emu's not the big final bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Sukuna for JJK, right? Or what have you. This is just kind of, it's more of like a free for all for the throne right now.
Yeah. But I find it interesting that that Garling's in here, because we haven't really seen too much of him at all. And then mysterious character who do you have any ideas of who that could be? I've seen.
I thought it was just Shanks.
Well, we see Shanks though. Like, why would Shanks be on here twice?
I mean, you could say like Akainu was repeated twice by showing the Navy headquarters. You know,
that can't be Shanks. It's his left hand.
Maybe you're right. Yeah. Yes. Okay, then I have no idea who it is. Then cool. A hidden lurking legend.
Yeah.
Has that even been revealed yet? The lurking legend.
The lurking legend is the friends we made along the way, or he's in our hearts.
I forgot about that. I don't know if that was even revealed. So maybe that's the lurking legend. Who the hell knows? Yeah.
But it could be Shanks's evil twin brother, Lanks.
That's true. That's actually true. Yeah.
Because I don't know. There's that theory that because there's some connection with Figureland and the Figureland family with Shanks, and potentially this could be. People thought it was it could potentially be the person with the burn scar. It could be. People were saying that it's this character named Ikusa from the Ace Light novel, because they have the same type of sword. And I'm like, that's too random of a character, I feel, for this. Like with all these other big characters. But I was also kind of surprised that Kobe was here. I mean, it makes sense.
Kobe, I'm not that surprised.
Yeah, because Kobe's the future of the Navy and everything. But but yeah, potentially we could see another Aokiji and Akainu face-off if we're just looking at this.
Yeah. No, for sure. I definitely think that's a possibility. Yeah, so I think looking at these panels, and then you see the Saturn thing, I'm inclining more towards he's KO'd, and then there's also a possibility that we'll see what happens to him, that there's a chance he might be out of the story, you know? And you're saying we need to learn more about him, but that could be retroactively done, I think, through Emu's flashback, you know? You know, and we've gotten a good flashback. I mean, a good amount of screen time with him just through the Kuma flashback already, you know?
Yeah. I think it would be interesting if he lands in the ocean and he floats. I'm still on that thing that they're not like devil fruit users.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think that's interesting. I think also what I find interesting, none of the Gorosei were in these panels too.
Oh yeah.
You could say Emu signifies it. That's fine. But then you could also say, well, Dragon signifies the revolutionary, so we don't need Sabo in here.
That's true too. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not convinced that the Gorosei are going to be the final bads as much. I think they're just going to be maybe one faction among many, and Saturn's going to be like cut off the chain in a way. And I don't know how, but I'm not convinced Saturn's going to get out of this arc. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like the way this chapter has just been laid out, I think it really just reduces the role of Emu that people initially thought, I guess,
Yeah,
because
I think that can be argued. Yeah.
Yeah. I also kind of thought of it this way. It's interesting that they feel the need to make a panel for Akainu and Emu. Like they're two distinct factions, if you will, a little bit, they're just now synonymous with one another. And even like Garling too, you could kind of make that argument maybe, like, are the celestial dragons kind of distinct from Emu and his plans as well?
Well, I was kind of thinking like you kind of have like two different side, like the Marines could be like Kobe and Akainu, revolutionaries is Sabo and Dragon. The celestial dragons could be represented by Garling and the mysterious figure, but then that leaves Aokiji and Emu, who don't really match up. But I did notice you could kind of draw links between them.
Yeah, right. Because like also that's another thing, they felt the need to make Aokiji distinct from Blackbeard.
Yeah.
Even though he's like a part of his crew, and then
yeah, he has something else going on.
Yeah, and also just this whole thing, it's like I find it fascinating how when we're talking about all the factions with the Throne Wars and everything, first I was like, oh yeah, well the Warlords aren't a thing anymore, but then Buggy basically signifies the new Warlords when you think about it, the new Warlord faction.
Buggy stocks are at an all-time high. And
yes,
I love the one panel of Mihawk and Crocodile being so done with all the idiots who follow him, Buggy blindly.
Well, they'll be kissing his feet by the end of the series, so it's all good. But I think like it was interesting, like when Doflamingo gave that speech back then, because I was always like, what do you mean, like the Warlords are going to try to go for the One Piece? But now it kind of makes a little bit more sense. And went under the Buggy faction,
Yeah. Potentially there could be more ex-Warlords like Weevil teaming up with him. Who knows?
Or Moria.
Moria's, well, we didn't see him, but apparently he was freed from his cell by Perona, right?
Yeah.
Not that we saw anything. He could be dead, for all we know.
Yeah, he could be dead. Yeah, so
off screen, like
Moria
like Absalom.
Yeah, there's a possibility they free Doflamingo too.
Yeah, I don't think Dofi's done in the story.
That would be crazy. A Doflamingo, Mihawk, Crocodile crew.
Yeah.
Because like remember, like Crocodile wanted to work with Doflamingo. I'm sorry, I got that backwards. But yeah, so they can reunite too, and then Buggy's crew would be insanely broken.
Yeah.
Definitely a possibility though.
Yeah. One thing I did want to mention, we do see the Sunny slowly falling. It's been falling for what, like 2 chapters now?
Yeah.
But we do see Zoro like notice something, and I'm wondering if it's Noshiro coming, like down from the top, surviving Atlas's explosion, or potentially Mars is coming back because he got thrown and he can fly. So
True. Yeah.
So yeah, who knows? Really,
You're not out of the woods yet.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been saying this for like the past 5 chapters, but I think this is finally wrapping up.
Yeah. Because it looks like Vegapug's message is more or less done.
Yeah. Like, finally, it's done after all this time.
Yeah.
I know people have been complaining, like, why is it taking so long to do anything in this arc? And I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, this final page here is, people are going to make a lot of theories, because it could potentially also, like, symbolize, like, the new and old order of things, you know? But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here, man. So anyway, everybody leave your thoughts on what we discussed today. Please like and subscribe if you have not, and we will come out with a Tower of God review and a Jujutsu Kaisen review coming out soon. So see you guys all soon. Peace.
See ya.